Okay, here we go. It might be a little bit longer. No, we got plenty of time. Okay. So, this fucking person, this blew up all over the internet, bro. This is everywhere right now.
That got dragged out. He's fighting and he's dragging. He's doing all this stuff, right? You can't do that. You can't yell and do this. Like, what are they going do? What are they doing here, right? I mean, you need two people to hold this guy down just to try to remove him. They tried to peacefully remove this person and he refused to leave. You can't have somebody do this. You can't have somebody go and do this. That's it. He resisted. He didn't just resist. He's aggressively fighting and yelling. Like, this isn't the way that you act in a first world country. It doesn't matter whether you're a veteran or not. That doesn't give you a right to go and do whatever you want. That's crazy. So this is the issue that
Huh? Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second, guys. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Okay, we back. Sorry about that. Okay, give me this here. Ugh. Gotta strap in. Strap in. Okay.
I have.
Okay, and, what I was gonna say is, so what you see here is a disguised sheep, or a black sheep that in disguise. This man, he is dressed in uniform. He was a veteran, but there's more to this man than you think. So he walked into this meeting, immediately started saying the craziest shit. They asked him to leave, he wouldn't, so now they're wrestling him out, right? Yes, he is a veteran. He joined to push a narrative. And we're about to see exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of these people are doing this in our communities, and you see a lot of this with judges or doctors now, where they go to college and do whatever they can to become a medical professional so they can push an agenda. And it's the same thing with this as well. These people are, to be quite frank, they're crazy. And they are trying to disguise themselves as average people in a society where if you go to college, you can be considered a professional. And the issue is that when you have people like this, wearing colors or having doctor certifications and being professionals, and then immediately doing a 180 against everything they were taught in college, like the male and female stuff, or going against even their own colors, we have a problem. We have a massive problem.
Those understand defending the Iranian regime, a damn in dress blues, that's shameful. And that's also true, is that, well, this person is using their uniform to basically push a political agenda. Fundamentally, I think that that's a selfish act. The truth is, like, I mean, we had this in ROTC, like I was in ROTC in like fucking, in like high school, is that you are not able, like if you got disrespect the uniform, well, I don't even, and so, oh my God, they would get so angry at you because it disrespects the uniform as well. And so that's the main issue that I have. Got to dress blues to disrespect the uniform? Well, I don't even think that it's like...
Well, the issue is that the facade is, and this guy is very smart. Don't think that these people are stupid. The people that take the time to go to college and become the medical professional or join a like, let's say, for example, this guy it looks like a Marine, right? They are very, very smart. He could have showed up to this wearing anything else, but he knew that in order for it to become viral or for it to make an impact, he had to dress apart. He had to wear the dress, he had to wear the getup, he had to wait his years out, and then whenever he finally did, he did this. That's the issue.
If you want to advocate for this, and this is another big component to what I'm saying, is that I think it's totally within his freedom of speech and totally within his right to act and say the way that he wants to do it. But the moment that you do that in a public space and you disrespect other people's time and their space, now I think that there has to be accountability for that. And the truth is that what I'm advocating for in this case is completely and utterly obvious. Everybody knows this is true. We can't have every single person who has a moral distinction or a moral disagreement with like what some politician is doing cannot be allowed to come in and violently, aggressively yell over that person and shut down the event.
Exactly.
We can't live in a world like that, because if we did, every event would be getting shut down.
No, it would be chaos. Our democracy would become no longer existent. That's the whole reason why we go to the ballots every time it's time to vote. Just because you don't like the outcome of an election doesn't give you the right to be violent or turn into an insurrectionist. That doesn't give you that right. There's no constitutional right that says that you can violently protest. No matter how much you try to cherry pick out of the Constitution, no matter how much you try to twist the words, or take things out of context or misinterpret them in your own way, there is no constitutional right that says that you can go to a town hall or somewhere in Congress, scream over a congressman or woman, and then act violent the minute you start getting dragged out of there. Whether it be a man, woman, veteran, any skin color, no. Absolutely not.
This is the type of, again, this is the moral and emotional short-sightedness that some people have that apparently I'm seeing through and they're getting mad at me for. So that's it. Yelling is violent. Well, I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, like if you're right there next to people and you're right there next, this is the same guy too. Yeah, if you're right there next to people and you're screaming in their face and everything, yeah, that is kind of yelling. And not only that, but I'm talking about fighting against the police right after that. And it's very easy to just not do that.
Here's a little cheat code for anybody. Anybody. If you are being told by a police officer to get out of the car, or you're being told by a police officer to leave someplace, you should always have this thing called self-preservation in the back of your head, that there's a good chance that if I don't, and this cop is in a bad mood, I could probably be shot. Because they have a gun. Now, I don't know when the self-preservation was so goddamn bad, now we're violently resisting arrest with guns on our persons, thinking that we're going to be Billy Badass, but at the end of the day, people have been shot for less. People have been shot for acting like a comb is a gun, pointing it at a police officer. There's a basketball player that was shot and killed because of that. When did the self-preservation turn into self-stupidity? That's the real question. This suicidal empathy that these people have completely numbs their entire ability to critically think. And then they become these weird, self-righteous, trending people because they don't have any fucking self-preservation whatsoever. And it's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen. It is.
And this is Marine Corps veteran says he suffers from mental illness due to Gaza genocide. This is another one of these people, right? And so
but he can have the beliefs he has, but the beliefs that he have cross the line when you show up to a public event and you start trying to take over the mic, and then you violently resist police officers. No one's saying you can't have the mentality you have, but there needs to be a line.
And this person's not talking about America. They're not advocating for this. They're advocating for another foreign interest. That's really all there is to it.
That seems to be the main theme that I see a lot with these people. Like, I remember when back last year with the Minneapolis riots, that I saw school teachers getting on and saying, "Hello, fellow communists." And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, straight up word for word, hello, comrades. Hello, fellow communists. What are we doing here? Why are you letting these people brainwash? They're not even advocating for your country. They're advocating for some other country. What are you doing?
Exactly.
So I have videos of that. It's all over the channel. Go look at them. We covered that live.
Doesn't give you carte blanche. No, it doesn't. And the thing is that, and I know that people will go against me for this and they'll get angry at me for this. And this is what happens is that, like, usually whenever
like Lemon, like Don Lemon, exactly.
Happen, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a few examples previously about this, is that I'm one of the only people that doesn't look at things emotionally. I don't. And I'll give you some examples. Whenever Renee Good was shot by that police officer, I said rip Bo's.
Exactly. Rest in piss, you won't be missed. You try to run over a federal officer or a police officer and they have to defend themselves, well, you had it fucking coming. You should have did what the police officer said and get the fuck out of the car.
So on the morning that she died.
And Alex Peretti would be alive if he had been arrested those few days prior where he had kicked the taillight and he had a firearm on him. He kicked the taillight of one of the ICE agents' vehicles and broke the taillight, and he had a firearm on him. That automatically makes it a felony. If they were able to arrest him and put him in jail, he would be there he would have been there the day he got shot. He would have been, if the police were enforcing their laws. But they weren't. ICE agents were never meant to be riot police. They were meant to work with the local police in order to get the job done. When the local police are being told by the governor and the mayor of that state that they're not actual police officers, not realizing that those ICE agents have the ability to enforce felonies. They do. And what's crazy is that I guarantee you, if that ICE agent that backed him off of that federal car if he knew he had a firearm, he could have arrested him. But we only found out later that he had a firearm. It's crazy that all of this could be prevented, but for whatever reason, instead of trying to actually protect these people, they want these people to get themselves killed. That's what they've wanted this whole time. They never wanted to save these people. They never wanted to help these people. That's never what they wanted.
I did. I said, that's what you get. You shouldn't have fucking done that. Everybody was furious.
And then the wife or the fiance. And here's another thing. Renee Good had her children taken away. I didn't even know that. She had her kids taken away from her. And they were trying to say the day that she had gotten shot that she was driving her kids to school. No, she wasn't. She didn't have kids. They got taken away from her. I didn't know that.
People were so angry at me for saying that. But after more clips and more images emerged and more information came out, it became more readily
Same thing with Alex Peretti. His parents came forward and said that he had gotten fired from his job, that he hadn't been there in weeks, and so they had to fire his ass, that he had gotten mixed up in the wrong crowd.
That I was right about this. They even interviewed like her father-in-law or something, and he said that she wouldn't be in heaven. Who the fuck says that? What woman loses custody of her kids? I'll tell you what woman
There it is.
loses custody of her kids. A fucking nutball does. That's the truth, and everybody knows it. So anyway, that's one of the instances where everybody got mad at me. And then as time went on, as cooler heads prevailed and reasonable people took over and they went back to the conversation, you had more people coming and saying that actually, wait a minute, I think I know what you were saying. Alex Peretti was another one. I said, let's reserve judgment until we see more information. People got furious at me because I wouldn't immediately condemn the government for doing that. It turns out that he was another unhinged, violent protester that kicked the taillight off of a police car. The only mistake that ICE made with Alex Peretti is they didn't arrest him a week later and take away his gun. If they had done that, he'd still be alive right now.
Spreading misinformation.
So that's the thing.
How do you go to someone's channel and then immediately start spreading misinformation? Like, I definitely don't want you on my channel, bro. You're cooked. Stop lying. Asmon is completely based. I'm a Mega Roach fan, dude. See, like, my goal in life is to dethrone the Roach King and make him the Roach God so I can have his throne. That's what I want. That's my goal in life. If I can dethrone Asmon and make him the Roach God, I will gladly take the Roach King throne, all right?
Whenever I said this at the beginning, everybody got angry at me because they said, well, you can't say that because of this emotional mandate they felt they had. I don't feel that way. I don't have emotions that way. I think that thinking like that and behaving like that is completely 1 week earlier, excuse me, not later, a week earlier. And the reason why is that I used to feel that way, and I've tried so hard in my life to kill that part of myself because I feel like it's so poisonous and so toxic. I think back of all the times in my life where I've made a decision. More comments. Once emotion is involved, it's GG. You never made a WoW purchase off of emotion? I don't think so. Different than getting upset and then making a decision whenever you're upset. That Islamophobia isn't a real word. It's not a real thing. Islam is a religion, and a religion is a collection of ideas, and a collection of ideas is absolutely acceptable to be criticized. Every idea can be criticized, whether it's Islam, Christianity, science, mathematics, or being a Democrat. That's the reality. So anybody trying to, put the phobia label on criticism of the religion is just trying to shut down criticism of the religion. I have no interest.
I'm sorry, but if you have a religion that says that something was promised to you 3,000 years ago, you should probably just get rid of that.
Interest in that. I don't.
But your religion was hand-drawn, written out, and narrated by a human being. Big surprise that it would be to the benefit of that race to have something that was designated to them 3,000 years ago. Man, that sure is convenient, isn't it? Well, since this book says that we made that this land is ours and it was promised to us, you should just give it to us. No.
Standards of the time, it was way too young. Even God criticized multiple of them. That's the over. Yeah, you calling out the kid diddling problems that's happened is that this is the same thing that's happened with the trans community, for example, and I think it happens with all kinds of ideologies. So whenever I criticize this or I tell people that they're, being unreasonable with this, I think that I'm being extremely fair. You just recognized Christophobia as a real thing this week? Wow, that's new. Couldn't agree more. Yeah, you calling out the kid diddling priests? Yeah, of course I would call that out. I mean, absolutely. Like, what do you mean? Why would I not do that? So, yeah. It's actually longer when schools removed the Pledge of Allegiance. It was basically an attack on Christianity. Yeah, you should have never removed the Pledge of Allegiance. Like, that's insane to do that. Like, and again, that's the type of anti-American sentiment that I hear. And what I'm saying is that all of this anti-Israel sentiment is not necessarily pro-American sentiment. And I think that some people fall for the false god of anti-Israel, and they look at that, and they think that they're fighting for America. No, you're not fighting for America. You're fighting for another foreign country, another foreign interest, another side that's not your side. So yeah, that's really the way that I feel about it. Do you separate faith and religion? Not really. I mean, I've never even heard there being a distinction. And but I'll go back. I'll look at this here. And what's this here? Xenophobia? Like in 9/11 happened, a lot of legal immigrant Muslims are being hated and forced to get out of certain public places. Fucking hated it, and that's disgusting. And they didn't deserve that, and it's completely wrong. And there's no justification for it whatsoever. It's the exact same thing that happened.
Broke the hand of a Marine.
Yep.
There we go.
Marine getting the entire thing in the area. Yep. These people are absolutely and completely.
I think the guy's arm got broken, but he's also facing charges now too.
Into optics. They are. All they care about is how they're seen.
No, he cares about his
Well,
life.
it's like that senator that acted all crazy on the White House floor, but the minute he got out from in front of the cameras, he went back to being normal, right? Like they don't care about this.
And if he did that, then he wouldn't be fighting against police officers.
If he actually cared and he didn't want to be arrested and he like genuinely cared, he wouldn't be standing there in uniform doing this presentation in front of everybody. He wouldn't be doing this.
Resisting arrest and then sticking his arm in the door to prevent them from pulling him out. If he cared about his life, he wouldn't do that.
He cares about the lives of his fellow troops. He cares about the fellow Americans that are going to go to a war under a false pretense.
Does he care about the fellow Americans that were killed by proxies that Iran has been funding for the last 30 years?
There it is. Big surprise.
Does he care about that? Because it's
what about the 32,000 people that were genocided in Iran prior to this war? This war. What about that? I didn't see any of these people advocating for that. I didn't see a single Minneapolis person with a sign that says "Help the Iranian genocide." Help the Iranians. I didn't see a single protest. Not a single one. Not a single fucking sign. But now you care that we're bombing the shit out of them. Man, that's crazy.
40 years. It's going to be, it's 47 years right now. It's going to be 50 in 3 years if we don't get rid of them. Iran destabilizes the entire region. They fund terrorism. They fund groups that are probably going all the way over to Europe. Like, a lot of these people that are doing this stuff in Europe are probably being indirectly funded by Iran. And I think that there's no denying that Hamas is. Hamas is a terrorist organization that kills and rapes people.
They shut the internet off, stupid. They couldn't tell us. Well, they did tell us. In fact, it was all over the news. Fox News talked about it. And they did have the internet because Elon Musk went out of his way to send. You remember, guys, this is the same guy that they wanted to apologize for doing a Nazi salute in the middle of a thing. He went out of his way to give these people Starlink so some of these people could get their messages out. But remember, we're the bad guys. I'm not even a left or a righty. I'm neither. I'm not a Democrat nor a Republican. I've never voted. I'm 31 years old. I've never voted. I never will either. I'm tired of being handed two piles of shit and told to pick the lesser of two evils. No, I'm not going to choose between that. I'm going to pick whatever one helps Americans. Sorry. That's not what I'm going to vote on.
Including Americans.
And you can't even say that immigration and ICE is a Republican thing. Obama, for the 8 years, did the exact same fucking thing for 8 years. He shut down the border. He praised his number on deportations. He gave the border Cesar, the same fucking guy that's running the show right now, a fucking medal. What does it have to do with being left or right? What does it have to do with being a Democrat or a Republican? When did it ever become that?
So what about them? What about when Iran gets a new ballistic missile and they shoot it somewhere and they kill Americans? Again. What about that? This like intentional oversimplification is totally unfair.
I'm sure the United States government that single-handedly crippled Iran and captured Maduro fell for fake fucking propaganda that Iranian people were posting. I'm sure, guys. They didn't just line up an entire full-scale attack with Israel and take out all their air defense, all their naval ships, all their fucking bunkers, take out the majority of their leadership in one fucking blow that lasted approximately 30 fucking minutes. Clearly, they fell for fake propaganda. Keep coping, motherfucker. Keep coping. Maybe one day it'll work. Jesus Christ.
It's totally unfair. It's completely short-sighted.
Remember, guys, the boats that were coming from Venezuela going 70 miles an hour across the fucking ocean were fishing boats, right? Remember, guys, they're fishing boats.
I don't agree with this framing
Jesus.
at all. Full screen? Okay.
He cares about truth. This is what being American is all about, Osmongold.
Being an American's all about disrupting an event and then stopping that? What is this here? Only listen to
It's not siding with the tyrannical government getting people to die for a lie.
It's not siding with the tyrannical government getting people to die for a lie? Well, what do you think Iran's government is? This is what I think is funny, is that, what do you think Iran's government is? I'm not saying
That's
this
right.
guy doesn't have
Fishing boats need 4 outboard motors, didn't you know? Man, if you're not catching any fish, it's because you're not going fast enough. Go faster!
He can say whatever the hell he wants.
Oh,
but you
shit,
can't
yeah.
go into a public space, interrupt an event, and then resist arrest from police officers and then act like a victim.
Oh,
You
that's
shouldn't
funny.
have done it.
Enjoy your perma.
Yeah, it's like Iran is a theocratic dictatorship that kills its own people systematically.
It's the people standing up against tyranny.
You mean the 40,000, or sorry, I guess it's probably 40,000, but 30,000 is the number that's used. You mean the 30,000 people that Iran systematically executed for standing up against tyranny?
Well, sentences you don't make sense. Sometimes.
Is that it?
fish.
That this guy is trying to completely discredit and totally remove their credibility by acting like this has anything to do with Israel? Has it ever occurred to you that Iran is a threat that is completely independent from Israel? So you care about their protesters more than ours? I care about the you didn't listen to the first thing I said about how they fund terrorist groups that kill Americans. You didn't listen to that. You need to learn to listen.
You know, bro, guys got a point in chat. I infidel something another. You got a point. You can't tell what a man and a woman is, but you're going to try and sit here and tell me how people fish on a boat that's going 70 miles an hour? What the fuck? You can't even tell me what a man and a woman is. How the fuck am I... Is the earth flat too? I mean, let's be honest here. What do you really think?
Shouldn't have put yourself in that situation. Shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done it.
Dude, you're trying to...
I missed it.
He's trying to put him in a situation where he's dying in Tehran.
They do? He's acting like a
The
retard.
hand of a Marine.
No, he's not. He's trying to prevent him situation from him dying in his own base. Whenever
That's
Iran
right.
gets more
That's right. Iran, a 47-year problem solved by the 47th president, baby. Let's go. USA #1. Fuck yeah. I'm here Monday through Friday, boys. Stick around. Hit the sub button. Hit the like button. We're here Monday through Friday. Please sub to my channel. I need you.
missiles, and they shoot those missiles out of a U.S. base, and then they kill people. Or they finally get the capabilities to shoot a missile to America, and then they shoot it to America, and they kill Americans. Iran, whenever they got attacked, they went and apparently they're denying this, right? But a missile was shot towards Turkey. It was shot towards, what's it fucking called? UAE, Azerbaijan. You've had fucking Qatar, Saudi Arabia. Like, these are supposed to be their allies. Cyprus, again, Dubai, yep. I mean, they flew it. How can you possibly look at these people as anything other than terrorists when they're flying drones into hotels? How's this work?
At a certain point, it can't even be considered stupidity. You realize that a lot of these people have lived such sheltered and cushy lives that they don't understand what World War II and World War I was like. They don't understand the fear of terrorism. They don't understand a lot of shit. Like, a lot of these people have no idea what it's like to be oppressed. And you know that because you have people like Sneeko saying that Americans don't have freedom. If you didn't have freedom, you would be shot and killed for having a different opinion like what happened in Iran. It's because of your freedom, you're able to sit there behind a camera, make money off of your opinions instead of making bullets, okay? You are showing your privilege by speaking your opinion. The fact that you have that privilege, you should be thanking every soldier that fought and died for that American flag. Every soldier. We shouldn't be burning that flag. We should be admiring its beauty. What it stands for is the right of every American to flip off a fucking cop, because that's what that flag stands for. Doesn't give you the ability to threaten them. That's not what it stands for. You can flip a cop off. It's freedom of speech. But the minute you threaten them, that's different. Don't be like, well, this dude on fucking YouTube, because I'm going to be like, no, that wasn't me. Here's the video. So, you should be, these people have lived in such privilege, they don't understand what real fascism, terrorism, and oppression looks like.
Coward.
Is there not leading and defying orders? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, Osmongold, do you know how this
And,
country
and
started?
a real good example of that is them calling people Nazis, calling the Ice Ages the Gestapo. Motherfucker, if it was the Gestapo, people wouldn't be around to protest. They would be dead. They would publicly execute you in the middle of the street. If you look back at old photos of the towns, you'd see suitcases just lining the streets, books and papers everywhere, just empty, ghost-like streets. It's so fucking eerie, it's the scariest thing you'll ever see. And you're trying to compare people getting gassed in chambers, people having their wedding rings taken off and put into piles. Piles. And you're trying to compare that to the current administration? And we're the crazy, we're the what the fuck?
They were defying orders by dumping the tea in the ocean.
Because they couldn't vote.
Oh, damn, thanks for the $5. Thank you for the $5. These people don't know anything. They know shit. They know fuck all. And to be quite frank, the school scores kind of show that and prove that. Most of them can't even fucking read.
Oh, this is a bad argument. The Boston Tea Party happened because people couldn't vote for King George to leave office. Whenever Donald Trump said in 2016...
He said he was going to bomb the shit out of them. He said that. What's funny is I've seen so many memes of Biden and then Kamala, whenever they get asked the question, what are you going to do if Iran wants to make nukes? They just say no. And you see Trump on stage, I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. Like, he said what he was going to do when he was running. And guess what? Big fucking surprise, we get somebody in power that is going to keep what they said. Hell yeah, let's go.
That he was going to bomb Iran and prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon. I guess you weren't listening. When he said in 2024 that he was going to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, you still weren't listening. This has been a consistent position that Donald Trump ran on, and anybody who cared to educate themselves on the topic would know that Donald Trump has said multiple times that he didn't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon and that he would stop them from getting a nuclear weapon.
Exactly. That's the whole reason why we sitting here limp dicking around, dragging our feet with motherfucking Ukraine and Vladimir. Motherfuckers got nukes. That's the whole reason why we're sitting here limp dicking around with Vladimir. It's because he's got nukes. We have to bring this dude to the table. You really want Iran with the same fucking capabilities? Hell no. Look at what they're doing right now. They're bombing everybody around them. You really want these people to have nukes? Fuck no. You're crazy.
You can compare this to
We are not doing this for our generation. We're doing this for our kids. We're doing it because they may not be able to have what we have now. The sooner we get rid of these people, the better off society and the world will be as a whole. Like,
a revolt against a monarchy. And then again, like, also keep in mind that if it was up to England, right? England, this is the people that are from the Boston Tea Party are the ones that are in Iran that need our help. They need our help fighting against their tyrannical government that takes the little amount of money that their country makes and then they send it to build bombs to blow up Israel rather than feeding their own people. They can't even get water. Their currency is worth less than monopoly money. And you're talking about this is like the Boston Tea Party? Like this random guy is like the Boston Tea Party? What are we talking about? This is such a deliberate misunderstanding.
They flipped over the boats. Look at this. Come on.
I don't know. Did they flip over boats? I thought they just threw the tea in the water. Maybe they flipped over boats too.
Smugness here is insane.
So I am smug about it because I hate people that do this. I think that they destroy our culture and they destroy the good things about Western society and American culture. And they do so under the guise of virtue. And I find it to be disgusting.
it is. It is absolutely disgusting. It is. Instead of sitting here disrupting this meeting, why don't you go rally together the Democratic Party and make them have issues that you want to vote on? That's the reason why they fucking lost. The issues that they had that they wanted people to vote on were garbage and nobody wanted them. Trump had a lot of things that a lot of Americans wanted that they wanted to vote on. Maybe you should change what you want people to vote on. rally your Democrat instead of sitting here causing chaos in places like this or on the roads. Why don't you all, like, you obviously can congregate. Why don't y'all come together, rally up the Democratic parties, rally up your own states, you know, be like, hell yeah, we want this. And we like tell your elected officials what you want, and they can give you a candidate that you can vote for. But you instead, you want to sit here and say everyone's fascist because you lost the fucking election. That's not our fault. You're blaming people for something they vote. And this is what happens whenever you're not allowed to speak, by the way. When you get people that are online or are attacking you in public just for wearing a Trump hat, well, what do you think is going to happen? Well, they're not going to be more public about it. They're going to be the silent majority. When you sit there and oppress them, when you sit there and threaten them, when you assault them in public, and you sit there and you fucking try to like call them names to get them off the internet, you know what ends up happening? They become the silent majority. You're never going to change what they think. You're just going to oppress their speech. That's all you're doing. They're still going to vote for anything that doesn't have you in power because they're fucking scared of you. They're scared because if you're sitting here and openly oppressing people in front of other people and doing it and attacking people and wishing death upon people, they don't want you to be in power because they're fucking terrified of you. That's why. They may even agree with your goals, but because you're sitting there beating the hell out of them, well, I'm not going to agree with that fucking person. He's crazy. Like, duh.
Senator help drag this piece of shit out? Yep.
This is how they act when they're not in power. Just imagine if they were.
Dude, yep. Calling a veteran a piece of shit.
There's a lot of veterans that are pieces of shit. There's murderers that are veterans. There's rapists that are veterans. Yep. There are people
that was a big thing in World War I and World War II. A lot of people had to face criminal charges for that.
Plant bombs in places that are veterans. This idea that you can ascribe some
Didn't a veteran show up and assassinate two I don't know if they were like public, they were some sort of public official in a state. He had dressed as like a police officer and shot and killed them. That guy was a piece of shit. I mean, you can be a veteran and still be a piece of shit. I mean, it's not unheard of.
Moral virtue to veteran, and then it can't be criticized because of it being a protected status. This isn't going to work with me. This is cheap emotional optics tricks, and everybody can see through it.
Well, it's like you put your life on the line for this country, or so you think.
You do. And there are people that lost their life on the line for this country because of Iran's actions, and it's happened over the last 30 years. And it will continue to happen for as long as the Iranian government is in power.
Think, and look at the way you get treated. Oh my God.
He's not getting treated this way because
and it's the same way with teachers. It's the same way with first responders. It's the same way with veterans. Because you hold that uniform, because you are in the position you are, just like doctors, whenever a parent comes to you and expects a non-biased medical professional opinion, and you sit there and push ideology, you need to go to jail for malpractice. You need to go to jail. You need to be stripped of your titles, and you need to go to fucking jail. You are supposed to be held to a higher standard. It's the reason why if you as a teacher are drinking an alcoholic beverage and someone takes a picture of that and the principal sees it, you immediately get terminated from your position. You are being held to a higher standard. Act that standard, especially wearing that uniform.
Veteran, he's getting treated this way because he's violently resisting the police that are trying to get him to leave. You're intentionally misunderstanding the situation to create a narrative that doesn't exist.
That's fine. Everybody sit down, please.
Damn, bro. You broke your arm all for nothing, and now you're going to catch a charge. He got 3 charges, actually. Rip Bozo. That's what you get. That's sad.
Bro, you want him to get him to die for nothing.
I don't want him to die for nothing. I don't want him to die at all.
If you sitting there flailing around, flopping like a fucking fish out of water, and you break your goddamn arm because you have 3 police officers trying to drag your ass out of a place you're not supposed to be in, big fucking surprise, I'm not going to have any fucking sympathy for you, dumbass. Sorry? Sorry, not sorry.
I am advocating for the plan of action that will cause the least harm and the least death. In my mind. Now, you might disagree with my approach to this, and you can say that that won't happen, but that is what my perspective is. I am looking at the long-term effects of a nuclearized or a ICBM Iran that can shoot missiles anywhere in the world, and I see that in the long run, and I say, this is really dangerous. This can be scary. This could cause a lot of people
But the
to die.
issue is that he broke his own arm resisting arrest. Like, if you don't... big surprise, here's a cheat code for anyone trying to resist arrest. Don't. If you're being asked to leave, he could have done this, and then the minute they asked him to leave, he could have just walked out. That's all he had to do. He would have had way more respect from a lot more people if the minute they asked him to leave, he just left. Seriously. Him sitting there flailing around and breaking his own goddamn arm, now he's also going to be catching charges from this, by the way. He's already been charged, I think, with like 3 different things. So, like, you got a broken arm, you're in jail, and you're probably going to get charged with all 3 of these things. Like, come on.
Including Americans, but also Iranians too, and all the people all around the Middle East. It's not just...
It's the same instance as if you have a black belt and you start fighting police. You could get, like, felony charges hardcore because your hands are considered a deadly weapon. It's no different for a Marine. Like, if you know what you're capable of, what the fuck are you doing?
Americans, it's everybody in the whole world. And I think about it, you know, from that perspective. I don't think about it from a perspective of this instance, like this small slice of time. This has been ongoing for 47 years, and these terrorist groups have ramped up really in the last 30 years. You can look any of this up. You can look any of this up on the internet. You can find this for yourself. That
I'm
Iran,
I'm not sure what this was that he went and disrupted. I do know that it was a speaker session or something like that. I saw a lot of people trying to be like, well, it's a public place. It doesn't matter. If it's currently being housed, like, you can't just go to the White House and start disrupting the White House making a bill. You're gonna get brought out pretty quickly. I mean, it's common sense.
Fund. And how many of those terrorists...
You can't go to a courtroom. You can't go to a community courtroom and disrupt the judge by standing up and saying stupid shit in the middle of court. They're going to remove you. They may even put you in jail for contempt of court, honestly. Like,
soldiers.
To act like this is a new thing is just brain dead.
Going to see that it's a really big number. So what do you think is going to happen when they get better weapons and better technology? You think that they're just going to stop doing that? It's naive. Just fucked up your whole...
My prediction, bro, he's going to apologize for this statement. He's going to apologize for the statement. I remember when he said the Palestinians are subhuman, and then, you know...
It's not exactly what I said.
He got banned on Twitch for 2 weeks and then apologized. This is another one of those situations.
This is
No. See, I guarantee you they asked him to leave, and then he would not leave. So then the person that was recording started recording or doing whatever, and then they fucking removed him. And even if they did start removing him by force, who gives a fuck? Maybe don't go to a place like that dressed as a Marine and start acting like a fucking fool. I mean, if you walk into a store and slap somebody over the fucking head and there's a cop there, they're immediately going to start trying to arrest you. Come on.
I think he's well-intentioned, but...
Why do you think there are so many police officers there? It's to solve problem children like this guy. That's why they're there. It's to stop the disruptions.
And I the thing is, I like Sneeko too, but I really dislike this perspective he has. And the main point of criticism that I have with Sneeko, whenever you're saying you're well-intentioned, is that... And this is
right. Is it green to burn electric cars? Not just burn them into the pavement.
I hope that he can...
Bro, this guy's funny. Dude, you need to stick around. You need to sub to the channel, bro. You're funny as fuck.
Whenever Ali Khamenei passed away.
در ماه مبارک رمضان با سر دادن ندای آسمانی فست و به رد الکعبه به ساحت مقدس الهی واصل گردید و شهد گوارای شهادت را در این ماه مبارک نوش نمود.
This was a terrorist enabler that killed, oppressed, and murdered tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people.
We won't even know the full numbers of how many people were killed until this is all over.
And he is in paradise, or he has the highest place in heaven. Think about the type of moral inversion
he's talking about. The Ayatollah
you would have to go through, that your heaven would provide the highest honor and the highest place for a person responsible for such evil.
Because you have to keep in mind that the Ayatollah was responsible for taking money from the Iranian people, leaving them in poverty. A lot of them didn't even have fucking water, and giving all that money and all those resources to terrorist organizations all over the fucking around them, like in Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, like all of them. It's crazy to think that even after everything that all the information's come forward about it, even after the 32,000 people that he ordered to be killed after they peacefully protested, they have to peacefully protest in Iran, that people are still trying to back this guy. It just blows my mind.
How is it that your moral system can be consistent when you think that a person like that deserves to go to paradise? That's evil at its very core. He said he wasn't perfect. Khomeini was not perfect. No, he wasn't. He was not. And the fact is that I understand that there are people that are flawed and there's a spectrum, but Khomeini isn't on that spectrum. He's at the end. He's where you measure the ends of those spectrums. This guy turned off the internet so he could systematically kill his own people.
Exactly. Like,
I don't know why Sneeko is allowing himself to be co-opted, because I think that in a lot of cases, Sneeko does have good takes on certain things. But the problem that I have with this is that I think that you're falling off on this side, and you're thinking that the
you see, whenever you see somebody in chat that's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, you have no right to talk about this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's just somebody, that's somebody there that doesn't want you to talk about it. You should talk about it more. And you know why? Because the beautiful thing about me sitting in this chair and banning as few people as I have is that you can start seeing these people get crushed by the majority of people that are watching the stream, because they're such a minority, they don't even realize it. They just don't realize it, because a lot of people are just scared to say anything to these people in fear of being attacked. That's how it is. That's what happened to Kirk. Like, when you stand up for what you believe in and you're not hurting anybody, these people will find a way to either discredit you, shut you down, harass you, attack you, or for that matter, try to kill you. They will.
Israel side is the pro-America side. I don't think that it's the pro-America side necessarily. I think that there is a third option that is not pro-terrorist.
If these people could kill you and get away with it, they would have done it. I promise you.
This regime in Iran, and it is not pro, again, I'll throw you a bone, terrorist regime in Israel, and it is pro-American regime, period. Too many people decide that because they're against Israel, that means that they're for America. No, there are many other forces in the world that are also malevolent besides Israel. Let me continue.
This is extremely incorrect. This is an indefensible take.
Is Sneeko Shia Islam? I don't think he is. I don't think so. But most people are not. Shia Islam is like about 10%. Sunni is about 90.
I don't know. I don't know a damn thing about their
I
religion.
guess.
I don't know.
I bet Khomeini's probably killed more Muslims than a lot of other people. He's probably been responsible for the killing of many of them. Anybody who disagrees with him, he's bombing. He's not doing that. Why would I do that?
Sneeko gets brainwashed. We should talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Let me read a few more. And no, Khomeini being a terrible person is irrelevant. When you think about we're all at his level, Goy cattle, sure. And look at how many people died in the Yemeni civil war started by a terrorist group funded by Iran. Yeah, they're very problematic. More info on the guy they arrested. Who is this? Let me pull it up. And this is the person that they arrested. Let's see here, if I can pull it up here. And this is a Green Party member. Who's this guy?
All right. Hello, my name is Brian McGinnis, and I'm running for the congressional seat for North Carolina. If voted in, I will present to Congress the Great American Acknowledgement, a reparations plan for black families. I am not the
So
one
he's going to do black people reparations. Wow.
to speak on this as a privileged white man. I will anyway.
He's acknowledging the original sin of white people. This is disgusting. I can never support a person that
Bro,
does.
I'm telling you, infidelity to stick around. He's absolutely right. This is what happens when you cater to mental illness. This is what it looks like when you cater to mental illness and tell them that they're the special person. Everyone gets main character syndrome. And they think that because they stand in front of a group of people, they can change the entire role of the United States government. I tell you what, if you're so strongly set in that belief, then why don't you go to Iran and do the same thing? Or China? Last time I checked, I think people, whenever they do that in China, they turn up missing. They get, like, deleted and yeeted from the DNA pool. It's weird how that works, isn't it?
Does this?
I have deep remorse for our American history. If I, as a white man, don't speak against what some fellow whites still stand for today.
What do they stand for?
And don't get me wrong. I think China's an amazing country. I think Japan's an amazing country. I think a lot of countries are amazing. I do. I would love to visit China, and I'd love to visit Japan. Would I visit China? No, I wouldn't. And let me tell you why. It's because they're a little too harsh for my personal preference. If that makes any sense.
White supremacy.
What do they
When you got law enforcement checking your phone to make sure you're not doing any like weird propaganda, that's a little too much for my taste.
What is it?
I sure as hell insist Jews denounce the state of Israel right now.
I'm sure they're
I
going
hear them now.
Right.
How do you plan on paying all those reparations? Simple.
I don't.
Take the money we give to Israel and give it to American black families.
This person,
Why? You know what the best reparation that we gave to the black people was? They got to stay. It's like, I'm poor. I'm fucking dirt poor. I grew up without electricity. I grew up borderline homeless. In fact, we would have been homeless if my grandfather hadn't have bought a trailer from a junkyard and fixed it up. He bought the land too. Had a lot of fucking days where it was ice cold in that motherfucking trailer with no power, no water, and no food. And you know what? I didn't seek any reparations. Fuck. Like, what are we doing here? A lot of my friends, because I was from Louisiana, were black. A lot of them.
Brian McGinnis, who's being held out as the only Marine whose opinion matters, a true dyed-in-the-wool leftist, is running for office. Now, to be clear, maybe Senate, maybe...
Yes, this was a political ploy that he did. This had nothing to do with, well, I mean, obviously it did have to do with the ideology, but at the same time, this is the factor.
Congress, we don't exactly know. A member...
Why is slavery an issue at all? The best reparations for black people was a fair chance today. That's my advice. That's my opinion.
Yep.
I think black people deserve reparations, same as white people do, same as everybody does.
Yep.
There have been a lot of people that have been systematically oppressed in America over the years.
Yep.
You look at the Japanese, you look at, black people, obviously. You look at certain groups of white people as well, Irish. And you want to look at providing them a fair opportunity and an equal chance in America.
Yeah, stop being fucking racist. Stop being racist. That's how you give them their reparations. Stop being a bunch of racist piece of shits. Seriously, stop it. You're fucking stupid.
That's reparations. Those are real reparations. Because every black person wasn't created equal. The children of Obama don't have the same chances as, some random guy that's living in Section 8 housing.
Exactly.
Even if they're both black. Every white person doesn't have advantages either.
The Green Party donated to Jill Stein. Where's, oddly enough, in Ireland...
You want to bring racism back? Giving reparations to people that were hurt 200 fucking years ago? That's not how you get rid of racism. That's how you bring it back. They have the same equal opportunities, same as anybody else.
Palestine flag pinned.
What? Yes. So we have this person. He's wearing an Ireland and Palestine flag. Again, look at this.
Obviously, back in probably like the 90s or a little bit before that, there was more like diversity when it came to a lot of stuff. But a lot of the propaganda that's being pushed nowadays, it's just fake bullshit on like legacy media. If you get hired at a Walmart, you all gonna be making the same amount of money, brother. That's how it is now. Man, woman, black, white, Asian, doesn't matter.
This is the person that wants to be seen as an American. This is what I was saying, is that being anti-Israel is not being pro-America. Not necessarily.
What?
Is he Irish?
Yeah,
He
on
must
his
be
campaign
Irish.
website. And in case you were wondering, so the people who say they're America first, and you're not America first unless
They
you
won't
are-
even wear an American pin. They won't even wear an American flag pin. But you want to tell me that you're America first?
understand that America is the bad guy. And look at this non-active duty Marine who's violating this code of conduct, right? He is more American than you. You need to support him because he's America first.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna pull up a couple of people and we'll respond to this because this is the guy. And for places and groups like the IRGC to justifiably kill their own people because they're going to call them foreign agents listening to Israel. And Sneeko, again, was being posted on Iranian state television as an American source. If you have terrorists that are posting you as a source, maybe that's not a good thing. I understand it's guilt by association, and it doesn't mean that he's necessarily wrong, but it's something that's worth considering. Can we analyze the situation further? You have one more chance to create a response that's not a vague comment. And if you don't...
Yeah, you have to keep in mind that the Democrats have twisted their narrative so much that their hypocrisy is showing hardcore now. Their narratives have been twisted and turned and disfigured to the point where they can't even cover up their own hypocrisy anymore. They can't. It's just too bad. It's too apparent.
Like, I have no problem with people that want to make comments. That's totally okay. But this is vague. You're vague posting right now. What is this? Only terrorists are America and Israel? Tell that to the Iranians that are being killed. Tell that to the people in Sudan that are being killed.
Oh,
and do you know who's funding them? Places in the Middle East. That's why they're letting it happen, because of the diamonds and other types of rare earth materials. I don't see that. The situation with Iran and why we are so intertwined. Okay, what do you guys? I'm just gonna time you out. Like, you're not being rude, but you're being very vague, and I don't think you're really adding a lot to the conversation. I'm gonna just time you out. So it's a brand new account. Yeah, that's it. These people are so retarded. They think the only evil is Israel, so blind and ignorant. Yeah, exactly. And I've made many videos, right? And you can just look at Asmon Gold, Israel. Israel did it again. So this is me criticizing Israel for bombing people in Gaza right here. This is from 6 months ago. This is a civil war. This is, again, me being critical of Israel because of the fact that Ben Shapiro's side of the right wing that is controlled by Israel, I think primarily, is losing ground.
Yeah, man. No one like orange bad. You can't even make... I see a lot of people that are like, oh, Trump, where's the pizza? You do realize that before the Epstein... It's crazy to me that... Okay, there's a few things wrong with that hypocrisy. Where were y'all at whenever Biden was the runner of the country for 4 years? Y'all didn't bitch a single time about the fucking Epstein files coming forward. Not one damn time. Not a single time did y'all bitch once about the Epstein files. That's hypocrisy number one. Hypocrisy number two is, where did all this hate come from prior to the Epstein files and Trump talking about them? Where did this hate come from in 2016? Y'all hated this motherfucker from day one. Y'all didn't even have a reason. Y'all just hated him. Ran on the exact same policies that Obama did, and y'all still hated the man. What the fuck?
This is also, again, this is me critical of Israel whenever Benjamin Netanyahu had a meeting with American and Western influencers and tells them how to explain Israel sentiments. Let's see here. Are there any more of these examples? We had to act. This is also... This is Israel, but I did agree with them on this because it was, again, bombing Iran. This is where our money is going. This is a year ago where I'm very critical of Israel as well. So the truth is that I think that I have a very, very stated, like, a very good record in, I think, being completely honest and totally genuine about this topic. And even if you might disagree with me, you can see that there are not any biases towards any foreign power here. Like I've been I've been one of the only people who has been truly America first. You seriously underestimate the negative impact that Israel has on us? Well, what do you think that, like, so why do you think that I underestimate it? I'm asking you, why do you think that? Do you think the World Monitor app, Palantir, for free for everyone to monitor the situation? No, I didn't see that. I'm Israeli. I don't see any issues with your criticism. Yeah, that's why I have a lot of people that watch me that are both Israeli and also, fucking like all other places. I was gonna say Palestinian, but like, I mean, there are all other places in the entire fucking Middle East, right? I mean, like, it's not crazy to say that. You say you're pro everything and they're against everything because you're pro-American and they're anti-American. I think that a lot of these people do have values that are antithetical to American values. Aren't you a Putin lover, though? I'm not a Putin lover. This war's been on Israel's plan for 40 years. Yeah, and I think that it should have been on America's plan for 40 years because the Islamic dictatorship of Iran is a dangerous dictatorship that should have been shut down immediately.
Mentality?
And it should have never
You know, it's the same shit that I was just saying earlier in the stream. They can't attack the conversation. So you get dumbasses in a chat that are saying, well, he doesn't read books, so he knows nothing. Okay, well, whenever you start reading a book that talks about the Ayatollah, and what's currently happening in the world, then maybe you should come and say something about it. But until then, I don't think there's any books like that, fucktard. Enjoy your perma.
Allowed to happen.
That's the mentality that it just blows my fucking mind, dude. He doesn't read books, so he's dumb. I didn't know you had to read a book to bomb a fucking country.
It's basically betrayed us by providing refuge to Khomeini, and they should have executed him.